Many in our community are allergic to some foods and food products. To help explain what to look for and to offer suggestions on ways to prevent adverse reactions, we've invited Joy Krieger, Executive Director from the St. Louis chapter of the Asthma and Allergy Foundation, to join us. Joy, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
For many with food allergies, something as simple as having dinner or being in the same room as someone that's eating can cause very, very big problems. What exactly is a food allergy?
Well, actually, there are two types of food allergies. One is considered a food intolerance, meaning when you eat something and your tummy just doesn't feel right, or you have a little nausea, or perhaps some diarrhea, that's considered a food intolerance. But a food allergy is when you eat a harmless piece of food that your body then thinks of it as an enemy, and it wants to attack back. And it affects the immune system and can be life-threatening.
What are some common symptoms for people that do have the food allergies, and what are some types of foods that cause them?
Well, some of the common symptoms now strictly of a food allergy where it's life-threatening, initially your inside of your mouth will start to swell. Your tongue will swell, your lips will swell, then it gradually goes down and your throat will start swelling. You can become eventually confused, have a difficult time breathing because the swelling is not allowing the air to go. And all of these things can happen rather quickly if you have an allergy to a food item. And then some of the most common allergy food items that you're allergic to, peanuts are the most severe and truly cause the most life-threatening. There are tree nuts, shellfish, eggs, soy, milk. There's 8 leading ones that most people are allergic to. And a lot of kids, babies, can get them as early as 9 months. And they do, some of those items they can grow out of, but mostly the peanut, you do not grow out of that.
So you mentioned that this goes even as young as infants. Do we know how many people in the United States or even in the world have food allergies?
Well, they're saying right now 1 in 13 people will have a food allergy that can be life-threatening.
We talked about some of the symptoms, some things to look for. What are some of the treatments if someone did have a food allergy? Most of the people that have it would know it, but some of their caregivers, some of their teachers, some of their neighbors may not. What are some of the things that we can do to help treat someone that does become affected?
Well, clearly, I think if it's an early age child and they've started to show signs of a food allergy, I'm sure that the parent has taken the child to the physician and they've given what's called an EpiPen. It looks like a pen. You carry it on your person. The school nurses know about it. It's in fact a law in the state of Missouri now, due to House Bill 922, which was in 2010, that all schools have a food allergy management program, and schools can stock these EpiPens in the event that a child maybe they don't know the child has an allergy, or for some reason the pen is not in the school setting. So the nurse can give it too. But the child should have that EpiPen with them at all times so that you just stab it on a leg or an arm or a stomach, and you don't put it in the vein, but you do stab it, and you don't even see a needle, the way they make them so fancy now. But you should always have the EpiPen. And then you give it, and then it always has 2 with it, so within 5 minutes you get the second dose. Now, one of the things is people think, well, I'll just take a Benadryl. I know I'm going to be around something, and our physicians, and I can't tell you that will not save a life. Benadryl, it has to go through the oral part of, it goes through the GI system. It has to go in the stomach and before it gets into the body. You do not have that kind of time. Do not rely on Benadryl.
Obviously, taking care of something before it happens is the best way to treat that because it is such a scary situation. What are some things that we should consider, especially with the holidays coming up and Halloween in particular, as neighbors, as community members? What are some things that we can do to help avoid these situations?
When my kids were growing up, we knew there was a child in our neighborhood who had a peanut allergy, so everyone combined together wouldn't provide any kind of snack for them to trick-or-treat with that had that in there. So you could keep that in mind if you truly know someone. Or just stay away from food like that altogether and put a toy of some sort in there. What I would like to tell you is even if you think you're doing the right thing by reading a label and looking at a candy and you see nothing written on there that says peanuts, believe it or not, if it doesn't say actually no peanuts, that candy could be made on the same machine of another candy that has peanuts. We have found that out with other clients that call and tell us that. So that's not being safe enough. I would kind of stay clear of candy altogether. The other thing I'd like to want people to know is that the gel that you buy for the hand sanitizer that you see a lot of people carrying in their purses, their backpacks, that does not break down the protein in the peanut. So you will not cleanse your hands from anything if you've been touching peanuts. So the best thing to use are those wipes, the antiseptic wipes. They do break down the protein.
And as the executive director for the Asthma and Allergy Foundation, you guys do a lot more than just food allergies. Would you talk about what some of the programs that you offer for the community on a regular basis?
Well, we serve those with asthma and allergies of all types throughout our community. Families who have an income within 200% of the federal guidelines for poverty, we provide them free medication and equipment to take care of their asthma and some of their allergy symptoms as well. So we do that. We have a huge program with school nurses. We were fortunate to pass a law in 2012, House Bill 1188, for all school nurses to stock albuterol, which is the rescue medication for any child who may suffer an acute asthma episode at school. So we work closely with the school nurses. We supply them with the equipment they need to do a breathing machine, and then we provide them with free albuterol, which is the solution that goes in the machine. So we do that. We do a lot of advocacy work. We're currently working right now in changing the way asthma care is delivered in Missouri. We want Medicaid to provide asthma education and home assessments. We realize that we spend, as adults or kids, you spend more than a third of your life in your home. And a lot of times you don't even realize that what's going on in your home could be toxic. It could be toxic to the child. And sometimes parents don't realize that the dog's sleeping in the bed, or the dust mites that tend to be in old mattresses and old pillows, things like that. So we want home assessments. Studies have proven that you can make improvements and impact people's lives and enrich their lives healthier by doing so.
So if you were a parent or if you are a medical provider, how could somebody get more information about your organization?
You can call our office. It's 314-645-2422, or our website, www.aafastl.org. But someone is there. We provide resources a lot, too, for people just having questions.
Thanks a lot, Joy, for coming in today. This is definitely a lot of information that our viewers should pay attention to for the holidays.